There is 3 ways for you to make money on Amazon. The 3 ways are Amazon private label, Amazon wholesale, and Amazon Kindle direct publishing. In this short video, we're gonna actually go over each of those 3 ways, how you can make money using each way, and how it might actually make sense for you. So the first one I'm gonna talk about is actually Amazon wholesale. So Amazon wholesale does in fact use Amazon FBA, which is fulfilled by Amazon. Now, if you've been watching our channel for however long now, you'll know that the powerfulness of Amazon FBA is that we get to partner with Amazon's warehouses to in fact fulfill our orders for us. So we send goods to Amazon, they ship products to the customers after they place an order. We get to use their customers and we get to use their platform to leverage our business. Now, the difference with Amazon wholesale is that you do still in fact buy products in bulk. However, you are selling products that are already on Amazon. So think about Kleenex. Kleenex might have a wholesale opportunity for you where you can go open up an account and actually purchase, let's say 500 units from them to sell their product on one of their listings already. So what you're doing is you're purchasing products in bulk from an already made supplier, and then from there what you're doing is you're listing it on a listing that is not yours, and you're competing against products that aren't always your listing. Now, the reason why it could be good for you is that with Amazon wholesale, you can order smaller quantities. Therefore, if you have a lower budget, you wouldn't necessarily have to spend as much money on the initial startup cost, the initial inventory cost. So that's one of the biggest reasons why it's beneficial. The other thing is that you get to sell products that are already brand named, ones that people get to know. Now, the downfall to it is that you could have lower profit margins, and again, you're competing for price all of the time. So those are the biggest things that I would be very cautious of getting onto Amazon wholesale. All in all, could be very lucrative for you, but requires for you to make calls into those distributors or those wholesalers to see whether or not you can get an account with them, therefore get better pricing with them, therefore sell it on Amazon directly. Now, the next one I'm gonna go over is Amazon Kindle direct publishing. Now, Kindle direct publishing is basically using Amazon's platform, KDP, to list books that you get written by, or you write by yourself or get written on behalf of somebody else. So what I mean by that is that in the KDP world, the idea is that you can actually, without any writing experience, go and list a book onto KDP without writing it, touching it, or anything like that. You come up with a topic, you do the initial SEO research to see if that book can in fact sell on Amazon KDP, and what you then do is you hire a ghostwriter to be able to write that book for you. Reasons why somebody might want to get into Amazon KDP is because it really doesn't cost you a lot of money to get a book written. I've done KDP in the past. I got everything done for less than $1,200 or less than $1,500, and I went all out. I got a good cover. I did a lot of split testing on that cover. I wrote a really long book, so the investment to write that book was much higher. But for people who have a lower budget, you might want to get into this because you can actually go and write that book yourself and then go list it on KDP as well. Another portion to KDP is that you can actually convert that book into an audiobook and therefore sell it on what we call ACX, which is Audible. If anybody has an Audible account, you can take a book that's selling on KDP, put it on Audible, and therefore have 2 streams of income as a whole. Now, what we've noticed with KDP is that not every book is going to take off. And a lot of the times you might have some books that only make you $1,000 in revenue every single month, but in volume, you could do really, really well. You could deal with higher profit margins. You still need to run ads, but not every product is going to, or not every book is going to take off as a whole. Now, the reasons why we don't necessarily love KDP, we think it's an amazing way to make money on Amazon, but it's not as scalable, it's not as quick, and you can't go and turn a book into $30,000 in 1 month. I'm not saying you can't, but what I'm saying is that it might take longer as opposed to doing potentially Amazon wholesale or even Amazon FBA private label. All right, and now we're gonna talk about Amazon FBA private label, our favorite, and the biggest and baddest portion to this is that we get to own everything as part of that actual process. So what I mean by that is that we're finding products that are in fact selling already on Amazon using tools like Helium 10 or Jungle Scout, Viral Launches, whatever tool you may actually be using. And then what you're doing is you're finding a way to be different in the market, putting your own branding on it, and that product is now yours. You go and create your own listing, you don't have to deal with that competition. And in addition to that as well, you own everything. So you have the ability to now take a product and scale it up really, really quickly. Amazon Private Label has scalability. You get to use Amazon's FBA program. You own all of the assets in it. And what we love most about it is that you're truly building an asset that is sellable as well. Whereas a wholesale business, you don't necessarily have the ability to do that because all you're doing is selling your relationships with those particular suppliers, which may not be relationships if you just hand them off to somebody else. With KDP, you can sell the business. It's just not, and potentially not as fruitful as an FBA exit or a private label exit. But all in all three awesome ways, and depending on your risk level, depending on your budget, one of those three ways might work best for you. Now, if you are interested in learning more about Amazon FBA and specifically private label, Brian and I, we put together this free training video that will teach you a lot about how you can actually get started today for the remainder of 2022 or next year for 2023 to sell finally on Amazon as we grow in this ever-growing e-commerce market.